Palace ready to help UK police in any inquiry into King's brother Andrew. UK's Starmer refuses to heed calls to quit over fallout from Epstein scandal. Norway police investigate diplomat couple over suspected Epstein corruption. Japan PM's big election win could mean more beef with Beijing. US issues fresh guidance to vessels transiting Strait of Hormuz as Iran tensions simmer. Buckingham Palace said on Monday it is ready to support any police investigation into Prince Andrew after newly released emails suggested he may have shared confidential British trade documents with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The allegations emerged following the release of millions of new US court documents related to Epstein. Emails contained in the files suggest that Andrew, also known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, forwarded official trade reports to Epstein in 2010. After Epstein had already been convicted of child sex crimes. At the time, Andrew was serving as a UK trade envoy. The documents reportedly include briefings on countries such as Vietnam and Singapore, information that trade envoys are normally prohibited from sharing. In a statement, a palace spokesperson said King Charles III has made clear his serious concern about the allegations, and that the royal household would cooperate fully if approached by police. Thames Valley Police confirmed it is assessing whether a formal investigation should be launched. Prince Andrew, 65, has long denied wrongdoing and has not commented publicly on the latest allegations. He was forced to step back from royal duties in 2019 over his relationship with Epstein and was stripped of his royal title last year. He has also recently been required to vacate his royal residence. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has refused to resign amid mounting pressure over his appointment of Peter Mandelson as the UK's ambassador to the United States, a decision that has plunged his government into crisis. The controversy centres on renewed scrutiny of Mandelson's past links to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The issue intensified after Anas Sarwar, leader of the Scottish Labour Party, publicly called on Starmer to step down. The pressure grew further with the resignation of 2 senior aides in as many days. Starmer's communications chief Tim Allen quit, following the departure of Starmer's closest advisor Morgan McSweeney, who said he accepted responsibility for advising on Mandelson's appointment. Despite the criticism, Starmer received backing from senior ministers and some potential leadership rivals. He was also met with a supportive response at a meeting of Labour lawmakers, easing immediate fears of a leadership challenge. Addressing the meeting, Starmer said he would not abandon his mandate or destabilise the country, adding that his priority was preventing the populist Reform Party, led by Nigel Farage, from coming to power. Earlier, Sarwar said Labour's declining support in Scotland meant a change of leadership in London was necessary to end what he called a damaging distraction. Norwegian police have opened a corruption investigation into 2 senior diplomats following renewed scrutiny of their links to late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, authorities said on Monday. Former Ambassador Mona Juul is suspected of gross corruption, while her husband, former government minister Terje Rød-Larsen, is suspected of complicity in gross corruption, according to Norway's financial crimes unit Økokrim. Police said the probe is linked to newly released US court documents known as the Epstein files and is expected to be extensive. Juul resigned from her post as Norway's ambassador to Jordan and Iraq on Sunday. Both Juul and Rød-Larsen deny wrongdoing and are cooperating with investigators, their lawyers said. Rød-Larsen's relationship with Epstein first became public in 2019, prompting him to step down as head of the International Peace Institute. The latest files suggest Epstein assisted the couple with a 2018 apartment purchase in Oslo, and that they discussed visiting his private island in 2011, though it is unclear if the trip occurred. Police are examining whether Juul received any benefits connected to her diplomatic role. Her lawyer said she welcomes a full investigation and rejects the allegations. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has said her landslide election victory gives her a strong mandate to push ahead with a tougher security and defense agenda, despite sharp opposition from China. Takaichi's coalition secured 352 of the 465 seats in Japan's lower house, significantly weakening domestic opposition to plans for expanded military spending and a stronger deterrence posture. She said her government would work flat out to strengthen Japan's ability to defend its territory, including islands near Taiwan. Last November, Takaichi angered Beijing by suggesting Japan could respond militarily if a Chinese attack on Taiwan also threatened Japanese territory. China condemned the remarks as a revival of Japanese militarism and imposed economic countermeasures, including restrictions on tourism and exports of certain materials. Analysts say the election result is likely to embolden Takaichi. Former U.S. diplomat Kevin Maher said her victory signals a more assertive Japanese stance on defense, particularly in relation to a potential Taiwan contingency. Senior Japanese analysts have described China as a central, though implicit, issue in the election, with voters backing a firmer response to what they see as Chinese military pressure and economic coercion. Taiwan's de facto ambassador to Japan, Li Yiyang, congratulated Takaichi, saying the result showed Japan would not be intimidated by threats or pressure from Beijing. The United States has issued new guidance to commercial shipping transiting the Strait of Hormuz, amid ongoing tensions with Iran over Tehran's nuclear program. The U.S. Department of Transportation's Maritime Administration advised U.S.-flagged commercial vessels to remain as far as possible from Iran's territorial waters while passing through the strategic strait, a vital route for Middle East oil exports. The guidance also instructs crews to verbally refuse permission if Iranian forces seek to board their vessels, but not to resist physically if boarding occurs. Iran has previously threatened to close the Strait of Hormuz and has at times seized commercial ships and oil tankers in the area, accusing them of smuggling. The advisory comes as Iran and the United States prepare to continue indirect nuclear talks mediated by Oman. Iran's top diplomat said last week that the negotiations were off to a positive start. Despite renewed diplomatic engagement, Washington has said it wants the talks to address not only Iran's nuclear activities, but also its ballistic missile program, regional influence, and human rights record. U.S. President Donald Trump increased pressure on Tehran on Friday by signing an executive order imposing a 25% tariff on imports from any country that buys goods from Iran.